I hope that the Ghanaian president will follow that example.
Well, so clearly you stand by your initial position. But before I let you go, one other thing. Yesterday on Twitter, or X as they call it now, I'm even confused what it should be called now. Gabby Otchere Darko started responding to everything you'll be saying about the kitchen scandal. I don't know if you've read his tweets. Have you?
I've not only read the tweets, I have given him a befitting response.
Oh, you have responded?
Yes, I have. A very short response, which was simply to mock him. I can read my response. It's a short response, so I can read that in just 10 seconds. All I said was, quote, Prime Minister in pains and tears, and I have laughing emojis. What really matters is the incontrovertible fact that the kitchen scandal expose has saved Ghanaians a staggering 187.3 million Ghana cedis. Cash out aborted. Cash out aborted. We successfully saved the battered public purse for God and country, Ghana first. So, look, Gabby's tirade, or his treatise, these long messages saying that, my expose is an own goal. It shows that he is not that influential as people claim, that he has been chasing that money for a long time, and his own cousin, the finance minister, has refused to pay, and the finance minister would not even convene a meeting for them to sit down, even though his client has a case, and that what I have done for the family is very good. Now Ghanaians know that demanding money from his family members is not that easy. All kinds of hogwash, total hubris. Look, what Gabby continues to run away from is the simple question: what has changed? This is a contract under President Mahama, which you criticized. You said was bloated. You said President Mahama has some vested interest. Then you come into power, suddenly you make a U-turn. All the things you said against this contract, against President Mahama, and even went to court. Afenyo Makin was the lawyer, went to court. Nana Komia issued statements. You, Gabby, took to Twitter at the time, Facebook, bastardized the president, claiming it was a bloated contract. We didn't follow the right procurement process and all of that. Suddenly, you are saying that Mahama didn't pay the people enough. I mean, incredible. Totally shocking. How is it possible? The company that you said has been overpaid is engaged in a bloated contract. Suddenly, Mahama didn't pay them enough, to the tune of 187.3 million. That's what you were demanding. And look at all the secret maneuvers. Look at all the schemes. Signing letters without his name, compelling the Attorney General to issue a favorable legal opinion to side with him, even when that legal opinion did not have the input of the GRA, which is the executing institution, orchestrating the removal of the former chief director who was advising against the payment of this deal. And I see some people in the media refer to it as judgment debt. There's no judgment debt. Gabby hasn't had the courage to go to court to even win a judgment debt. He is just writing letters on his own saying that this payment should be made. And then they bring in a new chief director who is mounting pressure, piling pressure, because Gabby has written, giving GRA 6 weeks to pay, ordering everybody around. Look, I am so excited. What has triggered this latest Gabby's tirade is that I disclosed on a one-on-one interview on GH1 TV 2 days ago that I have received a delegation from my informants who are so excited that since the expose, government has backed off. Government is now looking for who rather leaked the documents to me, and everybody is now saying, hey, we don't want trouble. We are withdrawing our letters. We are not going to follow Gabby and go to jail and cause financial loss to the state. So now the GRA people are free now. They are safe now. The government has backed off the pressure that was coming from the finance ministry, from the attorney general. Everybody has backed off. I mean, this attorney general issues 3 legal opinions in support of Gabby. Can you believe that? Within a short space of time. An attorney general who is who is no client of, or if you like, who doesn't work for Gabby, a private person. He's the principal legal advisor of the government. So how is it that even when he doesn't have the input of GRA, he is issuing multiple legal opinions for Gabby? So look, Gabby has lacked courage to even take this matter to court if he really believes in the case of his client. And the irony is that the contract he's relying on, that contract did not come into effect. The condition precedent was not met. Then you take the value for money report and assessment. The value for money report is clear that the contract did not meet value for money. So on what basis are you then trying to rely on a contract which did not come into effect? So it's such a messy situation. The whole deal was a create, loot, and keep. They just keep these monies under their beds. So the scheme has been exposed. The whole attempt to squander 187.3 million of our money has been exposed, has been scattered. And when you see all the effusions of Gabby, you see somebody who is in real pain, who is wailing, who is restless, rolling on the ground. All his plans for this 187.3 million have evaporated into thin air. You can see that he is so bitter, and he can continue to rave and rant. We are not bothered.
And you call it cash out?
Yes, I mean, he clearly wanted to do a cash out, which has been aborted. And I want to salute all those patriotic informants within the system and all those who keep collaborating with us in Parliament to protect the public purse. I mean, what is left of this already battered public purse. So the cash out has been aborted. The cash out didn't work. He is not going to lay hands on that 187.3 million. He can cry all he wants. We don't care.
Honorable, thank you very much for speaking to us.
You're welcome, sir.
Oh, by the way, before you go, you are a member of the minority, so I guess this also concerns you. And I know you do not speak on financial matters are usually reserved for
members of the
your leader. But on the matter of whether or not the BOG governor should go, is it something you fully agree with?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was at the press conference, and I have been neck deep in all the meetings and all the strategy sessions. This governor has absolutely no business staying in office. Absolutely no business. Absolutely no business.
So having said that, this is, and I guess you know Professor Stephen Adai quite well. These are comments attributed to him. He said, first of all, that means the minority and the NDC in general, because I know the party has the full back, you have the full backing of the party on this matter. They don't know what they are talking about. If the BOG governor and the deputies resign today, the impact on us will be gargantuan. Do you know the impact on the depreciation of the currency, a total external confidence on our system? There are certain things you can say only in opposition, but this is irresponsible opposition. What do you say?
Professor Dai continues to speak for his paymasters and his cronies in government. Let us not present him as some neutral, some independent statesman who is doing analysis. Professor Dai is an appointee of President Akufo-Addo, actually multiple appointees. So what do you expect? He has multiple appointments. He continues to be resigning from them. Somebody who is speaking against resignations, he himself has resigned from so many of these boards. He's resigned from NDPC. He's resigned from GRA. Only yesterday I read he has resigned from the Ministry of Finance. He himself, in one breath, in that same interview, he says that this is not a time for the governor to be putting up a $250 million edifice, and that he urges the government to stop it, the governor to stop it. So, you yourself, being an appointee of Akufo-Addo, just like the governor, you are not proud of the decisions of this governor. And then you turn around to say that those of us who agree with you, think like you, except that we go a step further and say that the governor should follow your own footsteps. The way you are resigning from other positions, he should learn from you and also resign. Because you have seen the sinking ship. The ship is sinking, pardon me. You have seen that the ship is sinking. And so you are jumping out. We are saying that the governor should follow you. All of you should jump out together. So, look, for you to run down an institution, throughout the period when President Mahama was president, that was a profitable organization. Not once did the Bank of Ghana make losses. I mean, do we understand what it means to run into a 60 billion CD loss? I mean, it's incredible. $6 billion. That is twice what we are looking for from the World Bank or the IMF to save us. We are looking for $3 billion from the IMF. The governor and his henchmen have wreaked havoc, made us lose twice that. Imagine what $6 billion can do in this economy. All the people who are owed, all the liabilities, all the debts, the government obligations which cannot be met. And you see, this governor, the finance minister, Baumia, Akufo-Addo, all of them, they have destroyed lives. Do you know the number of people who have died? Contractors who have lost their lives. Workers who have been asked to go home, who have become jobless. So when this Professor Dai says that we should think about the fallout, what will happen, people will lose confidence in the system and all of that. Is he in the country? The worst has already happened. These people have already destroyed the country. This governor has destroyed this country. His recklessness. I mean, look, how can you spend over 151 million cedis for just maintenance? Over 60 million cedis for IT. When they ask them, say, oh, they change computers to laptops, from desktop to laptops. Should that be a priority? And this is a governor who has collected other people's banks, collapsed other people's banks. I was reading some reports only last week. They were fining banks like Standard Chartered and others, for minor infractions, minor breaches. And he doesn't want to take responsibility. Who watches the watchman? So, this governor himself would not have allowed any bank manager who runs down a bank this way to remain at post. He will have collected the bank. He will have collapsed the bank. He will have asked everybody to go home. That has been his modus operandi. We are only saying that, look, the standard that you set, the medicine that you give to other people, drink it yourself. It's now your turn. How difficult is this? And the harm that has been created, the mess that, look, what is Professor Adai saying? We have already been downgraded, the West. We have been declared bankrupt. We've already defaulted. We can't meet our international obligations. So, I mean, as they say, he who is down fears no fall. Ghana is already down. It's been run aground. So why is Professor Adai creating the impression that he is living somewhere, maybe in Afghanistan or Tajikistan, and that he's not in Ghana and doesn't know that this governor and his accomplices have already destroyed this economy? His own peers, they can't have access to their pensions. They can't have access to their bonds, their coupons. He knows that. He himself is a victim. And then he says that we should not be an irresponsible opposition, and that this will lead to a destruction of the economy. An economy which cannot be destroyed beyond this point. So, look, I think that Professor Adai's confusing statements and incoherent remarks should be treated with contempt.
And I guess you're counting down to the 21 days. And so far, little action from them. They are just, they put up some defenses. Since then, they've gone quiet.
They are clearly recruiting people to speak for them. It's all part of the... I am aware of even PR firms that they have engaged to help them in crisis communication. And all these people, Professor Adai, you saw some other attempted rationalization from the IMF, and you've seen all kinds of government propagandists try to speak for them. Look, all of that is not going to work. The Ghanaian people are very angry. We have had enough. We don't give you a strategic national asset and you run it aground on all kinds of... Look at how much they spent on travels. Like they are learning from Akufo-Addo. As soon as they saw Akufo-Addo in his 20,000 euros an hour charter jets, then they said, oh, we too, let's go on a jamboree. So you have a group of people who conducted themselves as if there is no tomorrow. And I can tell you exclusively, Senna, that tomorrow you'll be seeing more evidence of this governor and this central bank's recklessness. So, look.
You'll be putting more out?
Yes. They are not going to be allowed to get away with this destruction of not only the central bank, the lender of last resort, but also of the economy. I mean, see the kind of illegal printing of money that they engage in. And you see, the sad part is that all of this money is printed. The question is, what did they use the money for? So it is this kind of reckless conduct that has led to the massive inflation and then the hoarding of money in people's homes of these ministers. We've seen the Cecilia Dapa case. Because a lot of people are asking, what kind of economy is this that we can't even detect that our money has disappeared, monies are not in various accounts and all of that. We can't detect the loss. It's because of this kind of conduct. It's like we have handed over this country to a bandit, to some sophisticated robbers, because that's what is going on. Robbery, where all these monies are being printed without parliamentary the Bank of Ghana Act, they know you cannot do this beyond 5%.
Okay. Honorable.
And yet, instead of taking responsibility, apologizing, and leaving office, they are engaging the likes of Professor Adai to do PR for them. It's not going to save them.
And we are looking forward to tomorrow, since you have given us a hint that you put out more information on the conduct of the governors at the Bank of Ghana. But thank you for speaking to us this morning.
Always welcome. Always welcome.
Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa is Ranking Member, Foreign Affairs Committee.